Okay, so let's talk about these gold buys that started after this monster sell here. This was a big sell from this head and shoulders pattern that we have up here. All right, so this happens, first of all, this red candle is the close. Well, it's almost it's the start, sorry. It's the start of the New York session. So usually when I see something like this, and we've had two of them, I'm expecting the next candle to give us some type of retracement if it doesn't break lower than this wick. Okay? And what I noticed about this sell that happened this morning was that price ran down into this H4 higher low point. Right? It falls into this area, and it also breaks this is last week's high over here. We see that we already made it lower than last week. Okay, so that was a bearish sign I didn't like, especially when I was looking for buys. I thought that if price would continue, it would go down lower to this zone. All right, but what I did notice was that on the M5, while I was looking for buys, I saw that we had some divergence at play. All right, so I see some divergence on the M5 here. Okay. Right, because this peak is not higher than this peak. And we see that on this RSI, the second peak is higher than the first. So here we have our divergence at play. And not only do we have divergence, we have a nice M5 engulfing to go along with that divergence. Okay. Nice little M5 engulfing. We also, for me, I was ready to get in on my entry. I got an entry. First, I was really aggressive. So I got an entry up here. And I also have one down here with a stop loss right here. Let's put that in red. And as price continued to push up, my thoughts was that we could at least get a pullback to right here. And once we got this pullback, first let me tell you that this bearish candle did make me a little bit nervous. So I wanted to wait and see how we closed out the hour candle. You can see it's the timestamp at the bottom that we're going towards 9 o'clock, which is the close of that H4 candle. And then as soon as the H4 open, see we get a nice push up here. Not only do we get a push up here, I see we get pulled back. And as soon as we get to this point, the first thoughts in my head are head and shoulders pattern. Like right there. Okay, so once I saw the head and shoulders pattern, I did a measurement to see what my TP should look like. Somewhere around that. All right, so what is my TP should be? Somewhere around there. Make sure it's on that red line. If I measure it up to the first neck, somewhere around there, right? So once you see this forms, you really see it. I always notice head and shoulders pattern when the second shoulder is forming. Mainly because the second shoulder comes after a huge dip like this. So I noticed it when this started to happen. And when this happened, I went, okay, we're here. So if you missed this entry, You could have easily got in on maybe this entry here because we're retesting this area. So somewhere around this neckline, you could have got in on at the top of it. And then you could have rode it up into, well, I partialed out at this gray area because that is a weekly zone for us. See, that's a weekly zone. We just got a candle body in this weekly zone on Friday. So we know that this is a touchy spot. But I'll tell you that the play took a little bit of time, right? Because if for me, I'm in down here, I'm waiting all this time, which is 2 hours. But what helped me to stay in it was because I saw an engulfing pattern coming out of that H4 area. Coming out of this H4 zone, we get a hourly engulfing pattern. And the next hourly candle, small wick, you know, it doesn't retrace this candle body, doesn't make a lower wick, and it pushes higher. So we saw more of that. We saw gold come up here and touch this area, a little stagnant over here, and now here we are seeing what it will do next. But overall, those were my gold buys for the morning. And I'm actually still holding to see. I want to see what happens. But I feel like I'm in a good spot because if this area here is our last H4 higher low point, if we're following structure, price should be coming up here to take out this higher high point. And we've already made such a big move here. What gold has to do now is show us that it can go above this red candle for the buys, for us to continue to push up, because we had this one large H4 candle, and look, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 candles later, we're not at the top of that body. Gold has to show us it could do that. If not, it'll just get stuck in this gray area, this weekly area. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on gold. I'm looking to see it break to continue up. If not, I'm getting the fuck out of these buys. Oops, sorry for cursing. Bye.